Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Thick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, traders and investors. Welcome to this Thursday morning edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. I'm Spencer Israel. As always, joined by our traders, Joel Elconin and Dennis Thick on the show today. Earnings still in earnings season somehow. It seems to last forever. Walmart, Best Buy, L Brands, Viacom, Cisco all reporting. We'll get those out of the way. We'll talk the Nelson Peltz, Procter & Gamble story that doesn't seem to go away. Pandora caught an unusual upgrade this morning from BMO. Maybe we'll hit on that. We'll also, of course, answer your questions in our chat, premarket.benzinga.com, and those of you listening to us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BenzingaTV. Joel, how's it going this morning in the markets? What's happening?
Oh, they're back to normal, Spencer. We're trading up 875 here. So much for those down opens. Made a low at 62 and a quarter, but that was real early in the session. Caught a bid up 875. Pre-market high 75.75. Folks, I don't have anything up there. We got Wednesday's high up at 77 even, and Tuesday's close at 70 and a quarter. So those are targets on the upside. Crude, we backed off 57, now in the lower 55 handle. More rhetoric from OPEC, send it down. There's your double bottom that you want to focus on, under $55 here. Actually, call it a triple bottom right at the 54.90 area. And gold and silver. Do you guys still want to hear about gold and silver? I give it every day, but I don't know if anybody really cares. Gold down.
I want to hear about Bitcoin instead.
Okay. That's what we're going to do.
We're going to trade gold in for Bitcoin.
Wait, okay. But, all right. So I got to get to GBTC. That's what I'm going to do.
We need the actual Bitcoin price.
I'm going to.
I guess the futures are coming. I guess we wait till the futures come, right?
No, we should do no, because I like this GBTC chart because look at it, it consolidates. You know, it has.
I don't want to do GBTC because it doesn't track it well, and I don't want people coming there and buying the wrong thing.
Do you have a Bitcoin quote for me, Spencer?
$7,420.10.
Where do you get your quote from? Because it's different on the different places this thing trades, right? Where do you grab yours from?
This is from Coinbase.
Okay, so Coinbase is a good place to go grab it from, and that's the current price right now, 7,000.
74.20 10 cents. Yep.
What's the all-time high?
Oh Jesus!
Like it's 7,600, I think.
I always throw you under the bus, so you should be used to that.
Yeah, 70.
No, we're higher. It's over 8,000, wasn't it?
I can't tell. I can't tell exactly on this chart.
You know what, Dennis? Once the futures start trading, but I did. Dennis, you got to open up a Coinbase account. I opened one up, and you
opened a Coinbase account just for trading Bitcoin?
Yeah. Yep.
Have you traded it yet?
I have not put an order in yet, but I'm going to.
What's the spreads like?
Well, there's different things. There's I got to figure out the best way to trade it. There's the GDAX ladder that you can use. It's a pretty tight market, but you don't have to buy like one Bitcoin at like 70. You could buy fractions of Bitcoin. So I'm just going to start scaling.
It's only $7,000 for one Bitcoin. So
right. Yeah.
Fractions. You're going to buy like $100 worth of Bitcoin.
I think you can.
I guess it moves around like 5% a day. So I guess when you're considering that factor. Anyways, all right. We're not making it a Bitcoin show, or are we? Maybe the chat wants that. Maybe they just want us to keep talking Bitcoin, even though I don't know. But let's move on to the earnings.
Okay.
Did you ever give gold?
Can people hear me? Because I know. Okay, Spencer. Okay. Gold is down 40 cents, 12.7730. Silver up 6 cents at 17.03. But I mean, they're probably both going to zero. So short gold, short silver, buy Bitcoin.
Okay, let's go here. So here we go on to the earnings reports. And obviously the big report from this morning is the biggest store of them all, the biggest retailer, actually Amazon, I guess, the biggest physical retailer. Fuzzy's talking about it. He predicted what we were going to say. Walmart. Walmart is flying. This new all-time high is Walmart.
You know, you asked me that last time. Let me go to my longer-term chart.
It's getting close if it's not.
Oh yeah, that's a new all-time
Oh
high.
yeah. Oh yeah. Walmart back from the dead. It's there. New all-time highs.
It's going to
Who
100.
wrote this off in 2016? Every person on CNBC.
Not backing off. 20. All right, Spencer, give the numbers first.
Sure. Walmart, the only place where you can spend your entire Thanksgiving weekend and still have everything you need. Q3 adjusted EPS of $1 versus a 97-cent estimate, so a 3-cent beat. Sales of $123 billion versus $121 billion estimate, so they beat on that as well. They're also raising their fiscal year adjusted EPS by 8 cents.
So before we go to that, do they say anything about are their online sales like getting huge, or is that? I mean, that's got to be the component.
Comps in general were up 2.7% in the quarter. When I'll check out what they said for e-commerce, and I'll let you know.
I've been to a Walmart once, and
What do you mean you've been to a Walmart once? What are you talking about? You don't go to Walmart regularly?
No.
Where do you do your shopping?
Where do I do my shopping?
He does it at Meijer, and they get it delivered to their house.
Well, at Meijer is solid. I'll give you Meijer.
Yeah.
We don't have Meijer in Canada, so I don't have as many choices.
There's no Meijer.
I'm in a Walmart. I don't even do much shopping, but I'm probably in a Walmart at least once a month.
Really?
Dennis, have you ever been to a super Walmart?
Yeah, with the grocery stores. Yeah.
No, not like the Walmarts that are like two times the size of a normal Walmart.
I don't know. Where are those?
I went to one in Arizona years ago, and it was maybe the biggest building I've ever been in my life. It was 2-3 times the size of a regular Walmart. They had
what do they have that's so
everything, but just more of it. Like everything, just a lot more. It was like Costco. Honestly, it was like Costco.
Wow.
There's no Walmart really close to me. Really, in my area, so we go to Myers.
There's a business
we go to
plan.
Trader.
You better call Walmart up and tell them that.
We go to I don't think they'll let them in. We go to Myers. We go to Trader Joe's, and then there's like a fruit place, fruit and meat place, Johnny Pomodora's, and then the Kroger moved out by me, but I'll eventually go to a Kroger. But the one time I went to Walmart, we were up north, Michigan, in the UP, and I wanted some beer. And so the closest place was a Walmart. So I went and bought a 12-pack of beer. That's the only thing I've ever bought at a Walmart.
Wow.
But anyways, trading.
Interesting, Joel. Let's go to the charts.
94.40 is your pre-market high. I mean, I can't tell you to short this thing because it's just trading right up near the highs of the session. Monster volume. I don't see Walmart up $4.50 of it. If I was long, I would have sold it like 92, but here we are at 94.34. Keep going. This would be an occasion where you want to watch that pre-market high, right? And 929, see if they can take out that level. If they do, continued upside. There's got to be some downside in this thing. I just don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, here, as a stock, it got a little bit hit yesterday on the Target. Target got absolutely whacked on their reports. Walmart's showing Target how to get it done. So the opposite way. So Paris traders, again, banging their head against the wall. If you were taking the lead from Target thinking maybe Walmart's going to disappoint, you were wrong. It's been a wacky market. It's been a tricky one to figure out. One thing about Target, though, I will say, where it bounced yesterday, look at TGT. Look at that 54 level. Does that not just like the Rock of Gibraltar level back in August? And then at the end of August, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 days in a row, we had lows in the 54s. And there's a stock that goes from like 59, falling. Where does it bounce? 54.04. Man, you go out to those dailies. Those daily charts work. I like the daily chart the best. You find those levels that were there 3, 4, 5 days in a row back from 2 months ago. It held again, $54. That's your level on Target.
Yeah, I think we put that in our technical note yesterday. We do a kind of a recap. Spencer's been doing a recap of the show in the technical levels we talk about. I noticed that. I mean, who knows if it's going to hold up forever, but you do know that the institutions are at that level in July.
Oh,
they
yeah.
were there in August. So that's the only reason. It doesn't mean it's not going through there and going to 52, but on a day like that where it closed near $60, a $6 windfall on Target, I'm sure the institutions ring in the register on the short, or if they're nibbling on a long, trying a long there.
E-commerce sales at Walmart in the quarter, net sales were up 50%.
Really?
U.S. That's in the U.S.
Really?
U.S. e-commerce sales up
They're figuring out this online stuff.
50%, 50.
The only thing they could have did better was start accepting Bitcoin. If they would have said they were accepting Bitcoin, it'd be over $100 this
morning. Dennis, I know you're being sarcastic, but that's why Bitcoin's going to 50,000.
I'm telling you, man, every single time somebody mentions Bitcoin. Square yesterday, an incredible move there. So mention Bitcoin in your conference call. That's equal at least a 3-4% pop.
All right. Maybe 50,000 is a little.
Walmart's got to start accepting, and then we're over $100. Okay. I'll get bullish Walmart when it starts accepting Bitcoin.
Okay. All right. So what do we got?
Well, other retailer, Best Buy, BBY, Tile Spencer, how'd they do? It didn't do as good. They obviously didn't accept Bitcoin.
No, apparently not. Q3 EPS of 78 cents, which is in line with the estimate. Sales of 9.32 versus $9.36 billion, so a slight miss on the sales number. They are also, however, raising their fiscal year 18 guidance. Q4 adjusted EPS guidance coming in a little lower, 4 cents lower than the estimate. Enterprise sales coming in at around $14.5 billion. And the increase was to their enterprise sales growth for the fiscal year.
Whoever had the memo last night on the Walmart and the Best Buy got the memo backwards, because Best Buy was trading up $1 last night ahead of the report, and Walmart was trading down 50 cents ahead of the report. So whoever got that memo was doing it backwards. Best Buy, whoever was after hours, knew absolutely nothing. Stock was trading over $58. Giving that all back, trading in the 54 handle here this morning. What I will say is, kind of like the target chart, $54 on the dailies looks huge. What's the pre-market low?
51.90.
Whoa! Oh, went all the way down to that one. So if you take that one out, I was going to say 51.61 is the low back when we had the gap down day in mid-September. What day was that? What did they do that day? The Best Buy fell. It wasn't earnings, because the earnings you can see was back in August. What they say bad during September?
I think
that knocked it down $5.
I gonna take a guess here, and Spencer's gonna look it up. I would say it was a Goldman Sachs downgrade.
No, I wouldn't put that much on it.
When in September was this?
September the 19th, we're looking at.
Yep.
From 56.68 down to 51.61.
Lunch bet?
That was their investor day.
Oh, their investor
That was their investor day.
I should have took you on the lunch bet. You already owe me too many lunches.
And the analyst
you're like the fatty, digging yourself deeper.
The analysts did not like what they heard on the investor day. So
wow,
there you go.
Anyways, okay, so 51.90, the pre-market low. That's a long ways down from here. So this is on the comeback trail, 54.85. So some people come in and say, "Oh, this looks bearish." You know what? It looks bullish actually. Coming back all that way, trading $55 here now. Somebody's coming with their BTFD Best Buy buying shoes on.
What level? Let's see. You were looking at.
Oh
yeah, we're having some. Joel's mic is being weird today, but
really?
Yeah, well, you're with us, but you're not with us, but you're with us. So keep going.
With us in spirit.
Yeah, we're gonna power through today.
He's in the background there.
He's here. His mic is being. We got some mic gremlins today that I'm gonna work.
Go to Walmart, buy yourself a mic. Or go to Best Buy. What Best Buy needs the sales more? Go to Best Buy.
I don't know. I think Joel only pays in Bitcoin now, so I don't know if he can shop there.
He's got a Bitcoin wallet going there. It just carries Bitcoins, jingling along.
Joel, is your mic back with us?
With its digital currency.
Yeah. Is it this Spencer right here?
No, just go for it.
All right, 51.90. That's your.
Now he's gone. Joel.
No problem.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Joel did mention before the show started that we've been pretty good on the technical gremlins.
Oh, he totally
so
jinxed
far.
the show.
So I do blame.
Well, it sounds like me and you, Spencer, are good. It's just Joel's mic.
Yeah, no, it's a connection somewhere behind the computer that I'm working on
anyway,
right now. But why don't we let's move on to
Cisco. Last night, CSCO, another stock. Man, my bum's getting sore because I'm kicking it so many times. This is one I was looking and eyeing and saying, is this going to go eventually on breakout mode here above 35? Well, it is without me, unfortunately. 36.31 Cisco earnings. Good numbers, Spencer. Details.
Yeah, 61 cents that beat by a penny. Sales of 12.1 billion, which is pretty much in line with the estimate there. Q2 EPS guidance 58 cents to 60 cents. 58 cents is the estimate, or was the estimate, I should say. Sales growth will be about 1 to 3% year over year is what they project.
This is a long-term breakout. And if you look at Cisco and say, wow, this is all-time highs, you didn't go back far enough in your charts, because back in the financial, or not in the financial crisis, back to the tech bubble in the year 2000, the stock was $80, 80. So here you are 17 years later, stock's 36. So 17-year hold wasn't good enough for the buy and hold investors here, but it was good enough in the last 5 years. 5 years ago, the stock was 15. I don't know, a lot of value here, a lot of value in Cisco. I've watched Intel break out here now. They're nothing to do with each other, but they're old school tech. The old school tech is simply back. I think this is in breakout mode here. I'm a buyer of Cisco pullbacks.
We got a new mic here for Joel. So
mic him up.
Testing
Joel.
1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
All right, we got you.
I think we have them. You sound a little weird, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cisco? I just gave my thesis that this is a now full breakout mode above the $35 level, and it's the road to 80.
I have a high of 82, an all-time high 82. So I don't know.
Well, you got to correct me for the $2. $82. What in the year 2000? March 2000?
Back in the good old days. Yep.
The good old days when everything had a PE of 100.
All right. Let's look at
and the market cap on Cisco back in 2000 was like, it's the most valuable company in the world with over 600 billion in market cap.
36.72. That is your pre-market high. And we backed off. We've leaked a little bit, 36.31. So, I mean, if it got back up to 36.72 and you're long and you don't have an offer there, then sell it at 37, because that's the next whole number we'd have to deal with. Traded a lot of volume. Shorter term here, if you're trying to buy this on a pullback intraday, I see a double bottom on the 15-minute chart at like the 36.10 area. But just focusing on that pre-market high of 36.72. Looking at Cisco on the longer-term chart. Not to blow up my monthly here. Clear breakout over 35. What's the next level? Boom. There's
80.
No, there's not. 38.63.
When were we there?
February 2001.
So we're 16-year highs here on Cisco. This is a breakout. I would love this to pull back, but you know what? This is the market that I waited for the pullback at Intel and I never got it. So I don't know. Maybe you just got to chase it here. I always say don't chase stocks. Like my number one rule on my 17 years I've been trading. That's the number one rule is don't chase. I don't know, man. You might have to chase here to get Cisco. 36.30. This is in full breakout mode. I'd love to get it back at 35 because I think this could be the one that could end up being at 40 here in a short amount of time.
All right. So what's our next earnings report? We'll stay.
Well, we had a couple a week ago. We're going into the medium ones now. So we have L Brands, NetApp, Smuckers, Viacom. Who do you want?
Just do it in that order. L Brands.
All right.
LB reporting last night. Spencer.
30 cents is in line with the estimate sales of $2.618 billion versus a $2.58 billion estimate. So they beat slightly on the sales, in line on the EPS. Q4 EPS coming in line. Fiscal year EPS coming in line as well. Q3 comps were down 1%. And I believe they reported incredibly weak sales in Victoria's Secrets. And
I tried to trade this on the earnings report, and it was thin. And I traded it with small size, and I still got rocked. So you got to watch when you're trading these thin ones there. It actually started. I thought it was going to bounce. I don't know why I had it in my head. It started pulling back, and it did bounce eventually. I was just too early. Anyways, stock is now trading down 2 points here in the pre-market, $1.87. Ran up into the report, maybe a little bit too much. The earnings weren't bad, but it wasn't like your traditional retailers have been sitting on the lows into the reports. This was actually sitting on the highs going into the report. Now, obviously, it's run up 14 points since its last report here. So LB had to blow it away, and they did not do that.
This is a weird looking chart. 45.62 is your pre-market low. Got a nice bounce up to 49.25 after that. But
I know that's the bounce I was looking for, but I missed that one. I was in the fall.
you were short.
Going long in the fall.
This is my level here, since we are trading back in the 47 handle. Look at all these lows around 46, 46.11, 46.26. So 46 is my bogey, because you fall below that and you get a drop to 44.39. Why did we go up 4 points on November 2nd? Do you know? Was it comps or an upgrade?
No, there was something the company said. Spencer?
Really?
It was company.
Well, their Victoria's Secret segment is not doing well at all. I can say that they reported weak sales for that. I don't know. I wasn't listening to the call. I don't know what specifically
okay. I don't
they
know.
said.
It's just 46 because then it opens up to 44.39. So just keep an eye on
Retailers kind of back in favor a little bit though. So I don't know if you're going to see this thing just wash out. I think you have underneath demand here too. People who missed it last time. So that's why that was my thesis when I was trying to buy it last night. It was too early anyways.
On the
I think it's underneath demand. $46. I think there's buyers down there.
And if you ever get back to the $50 area, folks, pay attention. Institutional sellers lining up there. 50.19 was a high. 50.23 was a high. Also a 49.94 high back on July 16th. And that's probably when you gap down from a poor earnings report from 54.11 all the way to 46.49. So bunch of levels in L brands.
That's L Brands. NetApp NTAP reported last night. It's trading up 6 points. It's on my leaderboard. It's right there. If I'm just looking at the Russell 1000, I believe it's number one. Yes, it is out of the Russell. So it is moving up. 45.82 was the close. 51.91 now. Everybody's loving NetApp earnings, Spencer.
81 cents versus 69-cent estimate. Sales of 1.42 versus 1.38 billion dollars. Q3 EPS guidance, 85 cents was the estimate. 86 to 94 cents is what they see for the third quarter. Sales coming in line as well. Their sales guidance for the third quarter.
What do they do? Apps for the internet?
Crickets.
NetApp.
Crickets.
There we go.
Do you know what they do?
That was. Oh, I thought you were.
Actually, I don't understand what they do.
I thought you were trying to make a joke.
Spencer's good at this, though. Do you know what NetApp does?
He was trying to make a joke, and that was so bad that we did the crickets. Okay. Anyway,
I didn't even respond.
They're a software company. I'm not sure. I don't know what they do beyond
software
that.
For apps.
They're just they're a B2B software company.
Trading at the highs of the pre-market session, 52.20. I mean, that's your number, your only number here that I can give you. If you go back and you're really holding out for a longer-term target, back in June and July of 2011, you had a 54.57 and a 55.08 highs. Now, if you want to really, get down and dirty and figure out intermediate levels in there, go to your daily charts, and I don't have time to do it on the show here. Go all the way back and see if there's any double or triple tops. But besides that 55 area, that's your lawn. Let's see what it's now. Weekly doesn't even do you any good here. So major monthly resistance from 2011 at the 55 area.
Viacom, the dog of the media stocks, VIAB, is up 40 cents this morning. So they must have said something okay.
Ooh, I don't know. This is a rough one. Wait, this is VIA or VIAB? I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, VIAB is the leader. VIA is the tightly one that you can't borrow half the time and screws people
77 cents versus 72-cent estimate. Sales.
That's okay.
Sales are 3.3 versus 3.19 billion dollars.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's an okay report.
That's all you need is okay when you're a dog of the stock. What did they say on guidance?
I didn't see any guidance. Let me check again.
Dennis, which one do you like? Guidance. Which one do you trade more? I forget.
No, the VIAB, because the VIA hardly trades. I used to trade both of these. You know the story. Back in 2004, I basically was Viacom, VIA. That's all I did. Pretty much the entire year was just do the arbitrage of the two stocks against each other. And that's when they were trading really closely tight. They didn't do these 15-point blowouts and stuff like it did this year. I mean, it traded within a dime usually of each other. And when they blew out a little bit further than that, I'd short the one and buy the other. That's all I did all day. And I made my living just literally trading VIA against VIAB. It was good. It's a little bit boring, but it's good. Now the HFT bots are all over that. And, you can't get filled and the spreads are too wide in VIA. So that's a tough gig now. So I don't trade them really against each other anymore.
All right, man. I mean, it's getting a little bit of a pop up, 30 cents, but in the whole scheme of things, it's going absolutely nowhere. Let's see here. I'll call 25 minor resistance. I know you did get a pop up to 25.60. I'm not sure if there's any volume, but yesterday's high 25.15. So, prove me wrong. Go through 25.15, and I could see it up at 25.44. But getting a lift, nice volume yesterday in it. If you get a retreat and they start to sell this thing be aware you have a series of 3 lows, actually 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 lows at the $24 area. So there's your major support in VIAB.
Last one was Smuckers, SJM, and it is getting a lift here too in the pre-market. Got hit hard on the last earnings report, but food stocks are back in favor. I know we don't talk about a lot on the show, but besides yesterday when they got hit a little bit, just off the target numbers, yeah, GIS, Kellogg's, they've all been coming back from the lows. So Mondelez has come back quite a bit. Kraft Heinz is off the lows, although forming major resistance up at $80. And there's Smucker. Smucker reports, and it was pretty good.
Apparently, people are buying a lot of jelly. I don't know what else they sell. I'll be honest.
Jam.
$2.02 is the Q2 EPS. $1.90 was the estimate, so they beat that by 12 cents. Sales of 1.92 versus 1.89 billion dollars. So a nice beat there as well. Sales, fiscal year adjusted EPS guidance, $7.72 is the estimate. $7.75 to $7.90 is what they project for the fiscal year. So good guidance.
What do you think on the chart here? This one gets into the middle of nowhere, except for that high. You're going to point out that one high, 111.14?
Yeah, we're trading at 112, but you do have that one high at
111.14.
Where do you see that?
Looking at it right there on the chart in September. You don't see 111.14? Not today.
Oh, I see it. No, I see it. There's actually 2 highs there.
Actually, September 18th.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking a little bit farther out here. SJM, Dennis is talking about. Let's just call it 111. But we're already trading at where we
So you could go out to the 113.10 back on the August 24th, which is a high. Joel will probably like that number better.
Yeah, because we're already trading above it. But yeah, is it 113.10? Yep. I'm moving around here. 113.10. That's your major. Is this up on any volume now? I mean.
No, 6,300, very light. So you got to watch those ones. But it's not a stock that trades a lot in the pre-market, so it looks like they initially like it. But we've seen food stocks report before and give it back, so I'm cautious up there. I'm not chasing. I'll say this. I'm not chasing SJM, Smucker's Jam up $5.
Well, I can just tell you.
I want to chase Cisco. I have no desire whatsoever to chase the jam company.
I mean, it doesn't look as good. I don't know. This chart here, my other charts here are much better because it shows you like over the last 4 or 5 brackets, a seller at 112 here, just kind of bumping up against it. And
I need your charts. It just like points out seller at 112, splashing the screen.
No, listen to the brackets, 730, 740. You know what? I think these different platforms are picking up different prints. That's what I think.
Well, there is that possibility. I mean, you do have 12 or 13 exchanges. I can't even keep track of how many there is. And then if you start talking all the off-exchange stuff, prints all over the place. I mean, it is confusing, actually. I liked it better when there was one exchange. It was simple. So confusing now. Not only that, it's hard to get filled. I'll go, offer something on ARCA. I don't trade on NASDAQ on my price. And then, or trade on FINRA, and they're just matching my price. I mean, so many quote matchers out there. Whole strategies behind a lot of these, automated market makers are just quote matchers. And, you throw out your offer there and they match your price. They match your price and you don't get filled. You're like, why am I not getting filled? Because, it's not blowing through your price level, making you pay the spread, forcing you to do it. It's dirty, but there's so many quote matching strategies out there from these automated market makers.
Yeah, above that 113.10, you got to gap up to all the way to 118.09. So that's a big vacuum area, but you're already trading up 5 sticks in this one. So keep an eye. See when it gets above 112. I mean, it opens up to 113.10.
All right, jump over here to away from the earnings parade just for a second. We got to talk Procter Gamble. So PG. So, okay. Why not count all the votes? Where did we hear that before? So apparently, Peltz lost the vote back 2 months ago when he was trying to get on the board. And now they've recounted, and now Peltz has won. So Procter Gamble was trading up to over $91 last night. Got a little bit silly. I actually had a nice short up there, just around the $91 level. Covered it last night as well as it came back in. But it's still trading up $1.62. Give us the details, Spencer, on the vote count.
I mean, you said it right there. He lost his campaign to get on the board in October. They did a recount. Turns out he won by just under 43,000 votes. But this is not the end of the story yet because now they're going to P&G is going to review and challenge the new results as it has a right to do. they have a right to do that. So
awesome.
They're going to challenge this result now. And honestly, I don't even think this matters because regardless, Peltz said already that whether or not he gets on the board, he's still going to aggressively push for his changes to be made. So this is just, as far as I'm concerned, this is a technicality. He's still going to like pound the table on what he wants P&G to do. So I guess it's whether or not he's formally on the board or just some guy yelling on at his TV.
I'm kind of torn on this one. I mean, I don't know what the guy's complaining about. I mean, here's a stock, pretty good performer. You've used this long term. You're getting paid. The dividends. Got up all the way to 91.90 and you've backed off. I don't know do we have anything up at 92? Yeah, you had one little stinking daily high.
I can go look at the book.
Yeah. No, you're not going to see. No, I want to see from the daily perspective.
Yeah.
And there was an exact high at 91.99. So that was your resistance coming back down. I like to see this come back down to the 89 area and fill the gap. That's really my only interest, and see if it can hold 89. I think what Peltz is like pounding the table on is like the brands, that they're not making enough use of their brands. And I think it's the whole fear of Amazon thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we probably use a lot of Procter & Gamble products and, don't even realize it. So I don't know. I don't know what this guy's complaining about. There's a lot of stocks.
It's been a pretty good stock. I kind of agree with you. I mean, it's been a pretty good performance. Not that far off the highs. The thing's trading with a pretty high multiple as well. So giving it fair. It's got a 3% dividend. I mean, it's been a good stock.
Yeah,
it's been a good stock. So anyways, he just wants to come in here and shake it up and maybe, do some other stuff to, increase value here. So I guess it's not bad, when you get somebody shaking it up and maybe doing something, better with the company. But I don't think they're doing that bad of a job either. But it's kind of funny though, that, okay, we can look back to the charts and you can see the day that he lost the vote count, this was just a month ago, and it fell from $91 down to like under 90 and down to 88. Now all of a sudden he wins the vote count and the stock price goes back up. I don't know. It just seems like I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but this or financial engineering or anything like that. But I don't know. Like, how do you get the vote count wrong by that many votes? I mean, okay, yeah, there's millions of votes, but so maybe 45,000 isn't much, but it is still 45,000.
There's millions and millions and millions of votes.
How many was the overall vote count?
I don't know, and I also don't know how complicated a process this is, but I imagine it's pretty complicated. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt is there. Stock getting a pop. I faded it last night at 91. It's back down under 89 or in the 89 handle. So it gets back up to 91, 92. I'm fading it again.
All right, 8:33 here. We got Dave Landry coming on at 8:35. Let's you want to stick something, get another one in here?
Yeah, we can go look. The only rating that was really jumping on me last night, Dollar General catching an upgrade from Deutsche Bank here. And that stock, it was trading up last night. It's trading up more here today. It's going to get help from Walmart as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actually gets a really nice lift. Like if you look Dollar Tree itself, which had no rating changes, trading up $1. So Dollar General, it's bid up $1.15 right now. I think DG could actually get up there to that 84 level today.
Yeah, these things move around pretty good here.
They like the Walmart. The dollar stores always move around a little bit with a Walmart.
Dollar General, two highs to keep an eye on. We have not yet reached your 2-day high, 83.83, one target, and then above that, that's your 2-day high. Your 3-day high is 85.09. So I don't know. I don't think you make a lot of money fading Deutsche Bank. I know you wouldn't have in General Electric.
Oh, they've been hot.
You know what we should do? We should do an analyst of the year, Dennis. You and I should decide.
It's that analyst from Deutsche Bank that said GE was going to cut the dividend to short the stock when the stock was $29. He's the analyst of the year. We made fun of him because he said it 2 days in a row. Came out the next day and said, hey, don't forget I said that. And then we made fun of him on the show just because he said it 2 days in a row or whatever. But, man, he was dead right.
All right. DG, as I mentioned.
It was John G. Inch.
Inch. It's all about the Inch. Whatever Inch says. What does he cover right now? Can we find out what he covers?
I can look real quickly. And see.
Yeah, I want to know what the Inch calls are because I want to go long Inch.
All right. Okay. All right, let's take a quick break here and bring on our guest today. That's Dave Landry, founder at davelandry.com. Back traders and investors to Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep, brought to you by Benzinga Pro. I'm your co-host, Joel Elconin, along with Dennis Dick, Spencer Israel working the boards, and we are joined on the line by Dave Landry, trader and founder at davelandry.com. Dave, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joel. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a while here in this grinding bull market here, but let's just, we'll talk some individual stocks at the end of the segment, but let's just talk about time horizons and short-term versus long-term trading. I know Dennis has been preaching for a long time, get away from the seconds and the minutes and take a longer-term perspective with less competition. What's your take on that?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with Dennis 100%. I think you can only predict the short term when it comes to markets, though. And by short term, I'm looking out a few days. Now, that doesn't mean you can always predict the market, but if you have a setup and it looks pretty good, there's a chance that it will follow through, at least for a few days. And I'm slotted as a swing trader, but it's sort of like predicting the weather. You can only look so far out. But here's the thing. You could stick with that position as long as it moves in your favor. Now, just some simple money management can keep you in. You'll take partial profits just in case a big trend doesn't materialize, but then trail a stop higher. And if it keeps going, just hang on as long as you can. And that's where the real money is. Unfortunately, longer term trading, a little bit tougher because you're not going to be as accurate and your drawdowns are going to be a little steeper. But if you can trade for both short term and longer term trades, it'll help to smooth out that equity curve a little bit.
What do you consider longer term? I mean, I like that you say short term is 2 to 3 days because I think that gets out of the perspective of, the intraday trading. What longer term? You talking a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, 5 years?
Well, when I say longer term, when somebody says what's your holding period, I say 10 years and hopefully longer. But obviously, I get stopped out a little bit sooner. But we had one we just got stopped out a few days ago, actually a week ago. And we've been holding on since late January. So the swing trade, ideally, yes, you want that, Joel, to pay off within the first few days or maybe even a week or two, and then just hold on to the rest of it for as long as it moves in your favor, because that's where the real money is. And sometimes, and I know I make it sound a little too elusive sometimes, but that outlier is where you make your real money.
And you make an excellent point here, and I think it's and this is something that saved me on my longer term trades. It's so tempting to me, when you see a big move in something like I got to get out. I just never gonna beat this price anymore. If I would have taken that kind of attitude with something like Western Digital, I mean, I would have, there was a lot of bumps in the road, but I kind of, kept on selling myself $80, $80, $80. And it did take it out, go to 78.31, but like I pulled a Dennis and said, give it another day or so. Talk about the concept of like not trying to sell the high. Like, I don't know what stock it was in that you got stopped out in, but you left some money on the table, right? Because you didn't sell it when it was going straight up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was KEM, and it dropped about 6 points before we got knocked out on the stop. And a few of my clients emailed me and said, ouch. And it's like, yeah, I feel your pain, but that it comes to territory. You're going to give up some in the end. And it stopped out at 189% profit. It's like, well, if you're that upset, send me the money and go center yourself, get a massage or something, relax. And I've been saying that for 20 years, and I've never gotten a check in the mail. So it comes to territory. And what I often say is all trades eventually end badly. You either get stopped flat out at a loss, maybe you'll scratch out, or in the end, you give up some of those open profits.
What was that stock you just mentioned? Was it
KEM?
Oh, okay. I see it. Had the
yeah, and you can see the big gap down. It's just we just had a nice wide stop in it, and it worked out for months and months and months, and finally, as I just said, it ends badly, but that's okay because it's territory.
Money management. Are you talking about how important that is, like from a day and swing trading perspective, or are you just talking about, longer term?
Well, both. And what happens is you want to, obviously, when you go into a trade, you have to ask yourself, where would you be wrong? And most people don't plan their trades because the moment you plan your trade, you have to admit you could be wrong. And as you know, Joel and Dennis, this could be a very humbling business. But if you let that stop take you out of trade, then you lick your wounds and you move on. I also will take partial profits, and this is where I'm slotted as a swing trader, and probably because I have the word swing trade in my first two books. But I will take partial profits when my initial profit is equal to the initial risk.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way I sort of beat the potential negative expectancy of that, because I know the system guys are probably rolling their eyes right now, but the way I beat that is by hanging on for that longer term trend. And the secret sauce in this whole money management is allowing that stop to gradually loosen up to make that transition to the longer term trader. So like something like Kim, I don't want to go in with a 6 or 7 point stop on day one. I might go in with a 1 or 2 point stop. And then as it moves more and more in my favor, I'll let that stop gradually open up to make the transition to the longer term trader. And that's sort of, again, the secret sauce.
All right. All these things here are kind of relating to trading psychology here, but would you like to add any extra on trading psychology?
Oh, absolutely. The best methodology in the world is useless if you don't have the proper mindset to follow it. And I'm actually working on a presentation right now for later today. And if I could go back and talk to that young punk version of myself, I'd say stop chasing the Holy Grail. There is no Holy Grail. Nobody knows exactly where a market is headed. Work more on your attitude and what you're going to do when the market either moves in your favor or against you. And I think that, if there is a Holy Grail, it's getting to know yourself and just accepting what the market brings.
All right. So really now with HFT and the other, hedge funds and trading, short term and long term, what do you think there's the only way to make money in the markets?
Well, the only way to make money in the market, obviously, you're not going to set up an HFT computer at your house. You can't compete on that. So the only way you could ever make money on a trade is to capture a trend. So my feeling is, why not be a trend follower all the time?
Okay. And you mentioned social media here. You said you'll get on social media. I know you're on it. What's your take? Is it social media stocks or social media in general?
Well, as far as social media, I think you have to be on social media just to have a presence. But I'm very careful not to get sucked into all the noise, because if you're watching people get all excited and everything, you get sucked into that excitement. So what I would recommend is, just tread lightly when it comes to that stuff. Keep it to maybe cute kittens and your baby pics. But be careful when it comes to trading, because I've seen some of these people will put some exaggerated claim out there, and then to my surprise, people will jump on top. Instead of say a DS, they'll just jump on top like, okay, tell me more. How do I get in? It's like, no, don't do that.
Dave, do you use Twitter to get news? Or do you?
No. Well, I ignore all news. Now I do, since everything happened last year and all, I do turn on the news every now and then. Like when I go in for lunch, I'll maybe turn the news on for a little while. But I believe in pure technical analysis, and that everything is sort of baked into the cake. And I don't worry about the whys, and I try not to let the news influence me at all. I actually went about 15 years without a TV in my office.
Question. I just got a question, regarding, the trend following and the stops, because I see this a lot of times too. A lot of people come in, and, I've been a prop firm, for 18 years. So I've seen a lot of different types of traders, and a lot of traders, we have technical guys that come in there and are doing trend following. But what I often see is they just get chopped around. Like you get stopped out, you get stopped out, you get stopped out. What's the methodology to really strategically place those stops so that you're not getting stopped out all the time? You can still capture the trend, because it's, some of the trends are nice. It's nice when the stock goes straight up, but a lot of times they're not so nice, and they do have these little violent things, and they do stop you out. How do you?
Yeah, I have an answer for that. There's two things. There's two things, Dennis. First, you want your best stock selection going in, so you want to make sure. Like in my case, I'm a pullback player, so you're looking for that reversion to the mean move in the direction of the trend. So you got the trend behind you. You want to make sure that stock trades cleanly and doesn't look like an electrocardiogram. And there are days where you might not have trades. There might be weeks where you don't have trades, and that's the hard part, is waiting for that so-called fat pitch. Now, once you do think you have something special, then your stop needs to be outside of the normal volatility. So I've gotten calls from people stopped out 20 times in a row. It's like, well, either one or two things is wrong. Your stock picking can use a little help, obviously, or your stops are too tight. And I've helped a lot of people by saying loosen your stops. There's a popular methodology out there that says we should all use an 8% stop on our stocks. That's like saying we should all wear a medium-sized shirt, something my fat arse hasn't done since I was 5 years old. So if a stock's moving around 3, 4, 5 points a day, you can't go in and use a 1-point stop. You're almost guaranteed, all but guaranteed, that you will lose in that trade. And I've helped a lot of people and not get compensated, but compensate by trading fewer shares.
All right, Dave, before we let you go, big question here. How you doing in Bitcoin?
I'm doing okay. It's a wild, wild west. I would tell everybody to trade really lightly. I'm using technical analysis, got knocked out of a position earlier this week, got back in on a pullback, and I'm just going to trail that stop higher. But it's definitely wild, wild west. Tread lightly, use technical analysis, don't get sucked up in the hype, and use a little money management. I think you'll do just fine like any other vehicle out there.
We've been on the line with Dave Landry. He's a trader and a founder at davelandry.com. Dave, great having you on. I don't know why I've waited so long to get you back on again, but we'll talk to you again soon.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Dennis.
All right. S&P futures still holding firmly in the green here, up 775 at 25.72.75. We're looking to follow through that pre-market high of 75.75 and the test Wednesday's high at 77 even. Dennis, where do you want to go next?
We didn't talk PayPal here yet, and there is a headline here because they look like they are selling some assets here. Looks like to Synchrony Financial. Spencer, you got the details on this PYPL?
Yep, Synchrony is buying $6.8 billion in stuff from PayPal. That includes that includes their PayPal's U.S. consumer credit receivables portfolio.
Wow.
Okay, so a lot of receivables. They're selling some receivables, and PYPL. This is new all-time highs again for this stock too. The stock has been an absolute monster. Actually, it's close to all-time high. I shouldn't say that. $75, $75.45 was the all-time high just a week and a half ago. $75.15. One of my worst sells out of my investment portfolio probably in a long time. I sold it earlier this year at around $41 after having it ever since it became, ever since it got spun off from eBay. Wish I still had it. I missed the big move and kicking myself for, it looked pretty good at 41. I thought it was up a long ways. Obviously, I had a lot more to go.
You should have trailed your stop like Dave Landry.
Yeah, I should have trailed the stop. Why didn't we have Dave on last year? And then I would have been trailing the stop. I'd have been all set.
All right, you got to print at 75.47. The reason that's relevant is, as Dennis mentioned, your all-time high is 75.45. So there you go. You got a little confluence. Break out above that and, look for the half and hold numbers, maybe 75. Getting a nice, that's selling a lot of assets there. So good job for them. PayPal trading are looking to make a new all-time high. All-time closing high, if you just want to know what that is, it's 74.77. And that was actually the day before it made that all-time high at 75.45.
You just can't sell. Stock Hunter saying he sold PayPal too. You know what the whole thing is? Anything you were selling earlier this year, you're probably regretting that because it's just been a hell of a run in the market. I mean, you can pull up any stock chart, unless it's a retail stock or General Electric, it's probably higher than it was when it started the year. So, now 80% of the stocks at least to probably fit that bill. So I guess you can't beat yourself up anything you're selling. One thing is, it's always like selective perception too. I always look at my, and I'm always looking at, the stocks that, I could have made more money on. I kind of ignore the ones I did make more money on. So, it's all a little bit of selective perception too and how you view your portfolio. Jump over here to imbalances, which we haven't given yet. And there's some interesting ones here. GE's buy-in balance this morning, Joel. It's got a buy-in balance of 303,000 shares to buy here. Already traded 429,000 shares. It's traded fairly actively. Not up much. It's up 15 cents. It's not much, but it says 0.8% for this $18 stock. You were saying yesterday put a double bottom in. Which we were saying that's what you got to look out for.
It's actually a couple days ago. We put in, boom, let's go to GE. A couple things I want to ask you about GE here. Actually, yeah, it was 1746, 1750. Dennis, tell us about your bad trade in this one. I think it was yesterday.
My bad investment or my bad trade?
No, we don't know about your bad.
I was scalping it. I lost a nickel, so it wasn't really much of a trade that I was talking about on the pre-market show. But I was itching. I was like, maybe it's going to take out that low, and I was getting itchy, but it didn't, and obviously turned around and bounced. So Anyways, I trade GE pretty much every day, so I could tell you about good trades in GE and bad trades in GE. It's just a stock it's probably one of the stocks I trade the most.
I want to ask you, what is
although not as much lately because it's so wild, and you know how I like boring, and it's a little bit too wild right now. I like it when it's boring.
Dennis, what is the beta in that thing now?
Well, the beta's flown, right now it's a lot, but still overall it's very close to the market. I mean, you got to ignore the last 4 or 5, ignore the last 2 months. Historically speaking, so it depends on what beta time frame you're looking at. You're looking at it long term, it's always been close to the market still. I mean, it's obviously the correlation's completely broke down here from the market in the last 6 months. But if you're looking at, the 20-year history of GE, it's always moved along with the market to and that's just saying on the daily, S&Ps are up 1%. Typically GE was always up 1%. That doesn't work at all in the last 6 months though, because it's completely separated itself from the market now.
And good thing I abandoned that strategy of, buying, 3,000-4,000 shares of it whenever the S&Ps popped a couple points, because I would be broke and then some. That was one thing.
Oh, there's probably some people who are playing the stat arb on that got hurt too. I mean, you got to realize when you're doing strategies like that, there's times where those relationships break down. And when it's those times, you aren't trading that strategy. You got to back off that strategy. It's like I employ a lot of different strategies. There's probably, a good 20 that I'm employing on an intraday basis on any given time. Sometimes some of the strategies are working, sometimes they're not. When the strategies are working, you got to press it. You're doing them more, you're doing them with bigger size. When the strategies aren't working, you got to back off. You're doing it with less size and you're doing it less often. So, that's, and obviously, the strategy, we're not giving a strategy session here, but, that's one strategy is stat arb, trading the stocks against the index itself. And, that's almost arbitrage in itself, but it's not exactly pure arbitrage because, those relationships are still statistically based. It's not like, because the market's up 1%, the GE has to be up 1%. Well, that broke down in GE. So you just got to back that strategy off.
GE, remember, I've been keeping track of the top components. I think for a while that was the top component in the S&P, and now, I mean, not even near the top 10. I don't even know if it's the top 20 anymore. So
it's coming out of the Dow, isn't it?
Yeah. What do they put in
they're
the
going to
Dow?
kick it out.
What are they going to put in? What do you think? What could be like?
Well, somebody said Google yesterday. I mean, that could be a possibility. We did put Apple. We did put Microsoft. Could be Google. Could be coming. I don't know.
Amazon?
I don't know if they want to go too heavy. I don't know if I want to go too heavy tech, and that's a little bit of a volatile stock for Amazon. The one problem with the Dow is, okay, let's say they do that. You take out GE, which has no influence on the Dow because it's an $18 stock. This is why price weighted sucks. And you put an Amazon. If you were to put in like an Amazon, it's $1,000 price weight. I mean, it's going to move around it way too much because it's a price weighted index. So it's hard to put these high price stocks in a price weighted index because it'll have way more influence than the other stocks.
Yeah.
So unless you're going to move to all higher price stocks, I mean, and we do have Apple in there now. I don't know, but I think GE is on the cut block probably there for the Dow Jones.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be the next fall, GE, when they cut it out of the Dow.
All right.
Hey, Dennis, did you want to know what else John G. Inch at Deutsche Bank covers?
Yeah. What's Inch? What's the Inch he cover?
He covers. I'll give you the ratings he's made most recently. So he upgraded.
See how he's doing.
He upgraded ITT last month to a buy. ITT Corp to a buy.
Straight up.
$55. Well, everything's straight up. $55 price.
Okay.
$55
he's
price.
He's 1 for 1. Keep going. We're gonna see how he's been doing.
Honeywell he's got $154 price target and a buy.
What did he do? When was the last rating change?
No, he just maintained his buy rating. GWW. This is a sell rating. $145 price target on GWW.
When did he put this one on?
6 months ago.
All right, so he hasn't done that well on this one, GWW. Actually, no. What was the date?
I don't have the exact date. You know what? Actually, let me check for you real quick. The exact date.
The Pro has all this information.
Yeah,
this is what
the exact date was May 18th.
May 18th, the stock was
downgraded to sell.
197, 109. Well, he's not doing that bad. He's actually, and that's pretty good if you think about that. It was like $197 or $195. So it's kind of where it is. So he's kind of flat on that call in a bull market. So he's done okay there. I'll give him a pass on that.
And those are his most recent.
All right. Next time he does a rating change, we need to highlight it because this guy's hot. So this is like the best tips out there. When Edge says, next time he says to sell something or buy something, I'm immediately going to my trading portfolio and doing it. A little bit of a joke, but a little bit truth too. The guy's hot. So hot right now, that Inch guy.
Were there any other imbalances besides the GE one?
Always in balance. Alibaba, 105,000 to buy. Or Alibaba buy and balance guys back. Or Square buy and balance guys back too. 125,000 to buy in Square. Stock is just an absolute monster. Up another 75 cents here today. SQ cannot be stopped. GE, 294,000 to buy now, so that's moved up a little bit from where it was. We got Verizon with 39,000 to sell. TLT is down here today, so remember that can put some pressure sometimes on your stocks that trade like bonds, which is like a Verizon. Snap, 59,000 to buy. SNAP moving over here to that's a bulk one. Buys are 88,000 to sell. Bristol Myers, 39,000 to sell, so a couple sellers in your pharmaceuticals this morning. Banks are trading a little bit higher. Their buy balances really aren't there, but they're higher because the TLT is down.
All right. Tesla reports after the bell, right?
They don't report. They're releasing their truck.
They're releasing their truck. They're releasing their
truck's
truck.
coming.
Oh, that's right.
The
They had
truck
bad
is coming.
earnings. I don't know how you want to play. 300. I mean, that's been your chance to buy it 3 or 4 times. Well, that's on the weekly. Let's go to the daily here. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, daily chart. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's been the area. If it comes down 300 again, it's been good support. Trying to fill the gap from earnings just above 320. So I'm sure there'll be some good movement on that. Dennis, about 3 minutes left here. Did we do that Pandora Bank of Montreal rating?
I thought that was interesting because I don't know the last time I saw a Pandora upgrade, but BMO is upgrading Pandora this morning. Let me check. When's the last Pandora upgrade we got? It was June. All right, so it was more recent than I thought. It was June, but yeah, BMO upgrading Pandora this morning to outperform. So I thought that.
What's their price target?
I don't know if they have one. Their prior was 11. I don't know if they have a new one, but.
Their prior target was 11. Now they're upgrading to outperform. They're raising that price target or what?
I don't know.
Anyways, well, I don't know if I'm going to follow them because their price target was 11 before and the stock is 5, so that's not too good. I respect. Oh no, they upgraded to outperform and the price target is now 7. How's that work? So you upgrade the stock and you lowered your price target. They did. It was Daniel Salmon from BMO. Upgraded the stock to outperform from market perform, lowered his price target from 7 to 7 from 11. I don't know how that works. They lower the price target by upgrade the stock. Anyways, shorting salmon's call.
All right,
we're long Inch, short salmon.
Pre-market high equals a 532. Your November 7th high was 1140, so we'll keep an eye on those levels. If in fact it can even stay in the $5 handle in Pandora.
Let's back over it again. It's the big level because it becomes marginable and a lot of like $5 is always big to fall through or come back up through because that's when a lot of brokers allow a security to become marginable. So, that's something to consider when you're trading. But Pandora 517, I still have my price target and I gave that back when it was $6 and my price target was, I'll just say as a big O.
Okay, let's see. Is there anything that we missed in the chat here? Going back up, Celgene and Bluebird. Did any relevant news? That's what. So who says that?
I see Bluebird's up $3, so maybe they're right here. I'm going to jump and check it out. Spencer, you got news? Bluebird's?
Yeah, we got some data this morning from Bluebird and Celgene. Actually, it's one of those joint trials.
Why do they do that? Why do they have these joint ventures when they're developing drugs? I know there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies that do. I'm just curious as to why.
Maybe because they don't have to spend as much money developing it.
That could be.
They like to share the bill, but your Bluebird, your Celgene. Celgene's got money to burn, no? Anyways, okay.
They've been granted the breakthrough therapy designation from the FDA and prime eligibility for a drug they have for multiple myeloma, refractory multiple myeloma.
Okay, 9 o'clock.
Bluebird up 3. Bluebird will probably move more on this because obviously they don't have as much big of a pipeline as Celgene. So more influential any drug news to Bluebird.
All right, just real quick, Dennis, I want you to look at the IBB chart, returning to the scene of the breakout. Not quite yet. Double bottom here. You went all the way to 342. Getting any interest here in the biotech?
No. You know what? 300 is a good bounce level. Maybe for a trade, it could bounce here, but they're out of favor here right now. I mean, I look at my biotechs. I have a lot of them in my portfolio, and they looked a lot better a month ago. So I don't know. I guess, you could say 300 is big support, so I won't argue you there, but they're out of favor right now. Biotech's still out of favor.
All right, Spencer, you want to wrap up the show and preview the final show of the week?
On the docket for tomorrow, 2 guests for you. First up, Ryan Craver. He is one of our foremost retail experts. He works for the Lamore Group. He's their emerging brands and digital vice president. Also, we're joined by Ian Weiner, Director of Equity Trading at Wedbush Securities. So Ryan Craver and Ian Weiner on the show for tomorrow. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch it on our podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or youtube.com/BenzingaTV. Thank you to Dave Landry for stopping by today. Thank you for everyone who joined us either on YouTube or on premarket.benzinga.com. Hope you all have a good day, and we'll be back with you for Friday, our final show of the week.